Yes. Hello. Is that a beer or just a bad webcam, Jorik?
It's both.
It's a
Not a beer.
and a beer. Okay. Hi guys. Hi. I should get a beer, I can see.
Well, we're live. Hello, everybody back home and over here. We are starting officially the 19th vvvv meetup. First one in some time happening live. So we're very excited, very happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. If you want to participate or show anything, you can join us on Zoom. We have a Zoom link you can find on the Element chat room. You can also find it on the blog post. And I think Maxime is also pushing it to the YouTube chat. So if you want to show us something or comment on what other people are showing, just join us on Zoom and we'll be happy to have you comment. So see, we have a lot of people here. It's quite a nice evening, and let's get to it. Who wants to go first? Well, first of all, Andres, are you showing anything for us tonight?
I don't have anything new at the moment, guys. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. I know Anton is showing something. I know Sune is also showing something. Same with Alexandra. Toby, are you sharing anything tonight?
Oops. No, sorry. No, not sharing anything tonight.
All right, no worries. Okay. Who else we have on the call? We have, I missed someone over there. Yeah, Hayden is there, but he's usually a silent listener. Or am I wrong this evening, Hayden? Having problems with dynamic enums, he says. So not tonight. And we had someone else, but I think they left. So maybe, given the fact that we have Alexandra joining us all the way from the other end of the world, and it's probably super early or super late for you, I don't really know. Maybe we can start with you.
Okay, it's 5. I'm not sure 5 is the morning or the night. Because it's absolutely dark here. So it's rather the night, and I have not slept yet, so it's also night.
Thank you very much for putting in the effort.
Yes, it's exciting. I miss you all a lot. What can I say? So last 2 years I'm trying to really work with Gamma. And it's going slow. Like 10 years ago I migrated from DX9 to DX11. It's also went very slow for me. First it was for teaching. First it was when Jorik came to Moscow, and yeah, we met and see the Gamma and loved it, but we couldn't use it yet because it was just an interface and not 3D or something. 2 years before I was here and tried to teach my students with Gamma also because I already loved it. But they say, we want shaders, we want 3D scenes, we want VR, we want something. So we went beta again. And this year, for me, when it's the year when I started to use Gamma for my projects and to use it for teaching also, because now we can do everything inside. And they love it also when the first day we opened. Oh, it's so nice zooming, it's so nice, green pins, not like in PD. So I was happy also. And for me to work in Gamma, the shaders was a critical point because I was familiar to making it with code in beta. And so this summer, we were invited to make a project about a problem, or not just a problem, of a microplastic. And so the project, so I said it's a studio. Actually, it's a studio of two people, me and Sergey, and we worked together for many years and do the installations and performances. So this year we were invited to do the performance about microplastic. I guess everyone knows what it is. So tiny particles of plastic, which is going to our environment, to the earth, to the air, to the water, and they are of different types. So we had to visualize somehow. And I just decided, yes, now I will do it with Gamma, and I will show you. I can share my screen, right? Show you how first how it will how it was in result. Is it working? Right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
So it was a performance together with a piano musician. He is a composer and performer, and he works with prepared pianos. So there are a lot of stuff here. And we made some scenes. So there were like zero scene, the substance from which all the plastic comes to production. So it's something just no shape. And it was really the first time I used the SDF and Raymarch, because despite I was familiar to shaders, but Raymarching was kind of something that I couldn't catch. And I really couldn't do anything with Raymarching in beta, but here in Fuse, thanks guys for making it possible, we just discovered that it just works. So combining noises and different shapes and animating it, it was just easy. And yesterday I was showing my students this Fuse Raymarch stuff. And after that, I was showing them just familiar for me, like usual displays, etc. stuff with what I was doing for many years. And they said, it's complex. And what was before, I mean, Raymarch, it's easy. So it's realized so easy in Gamma with Fuse. So they loved it. And I think they will experiment with it more. So back to this performance. The next stage was about some films, like plastic bags, etc., which are fragmented, and then with wind or with water, they are just scattered around the earth and in the ocean. And one part of this, of every stage except the first one, was a filmed macro scene, which Sergey filmed on camera with some macro optics. And the second one for each stage was one. So, and somewhere I just used very regular stuff, kind of take a plane, make displays, make normals, and alpha transparency, and the same things I was making in shaders before, like make another texture input, make them somehow work as normals or transparency. here just put it in the material and it just works. So it was also kind of like play with it. But before I actually started to do that, I thought it will be complex for me to understand. But when I just starting to open the help patches and just be inside it for some time, everything just started to work. So it was a film part, and after that I can show the patches. And the second, third part was about the particles. The scientists call it tire wear particles, tire wear road particles. So it's some composite that make dust from tires and from road surface. They also contain plastic and also road paint. So there was also filmed cars, and then there were a 3D scene with some particles, like the gray and black ones, particles from road, not from tires, and the yellow one, it's particles from paint, and some 3D skybox with a texture. And here, what I mean, maybe I show it later in the patch, but and instancing is working very easy also, so it's used every time. And yeah, this is an assistant who, at some point, she carries a lot of table tennis balls and pour it inside the piano, and it works like a reverb on the strings. The sound was very beautiful. So the next stage was plastic particles, which are inside our shampoo and shower gel, so in cosmetics. And they're also there in toothpaste and everywhere, but they're not so much like from other sources. And it's a scene also made by filming, and then there was a scene made rendering. Yeah, it looked like that. Also particles with some materials, with some displays and normals and surface properties. And the last one was about fibers, about synthetic fibers, because there are around half of our clothes are synthetic, and not only clothes, but everything on the ships. I mean, I don't just remember English word. And sports equipment and just everything, and also something that people use for farming. I mean, all the fabrics, industrial fabric, not only clothes. And so they all dissipate to fibers, and they just stay somewhere in the earth or in water. And so it was rendered like that. Also with some displays features of fuse and stride. And so I just can show some patches. It's from another project also, where I started to use Gamma or recursive algorithm, which was not possible in beta if you not just use feedback or some complex. So it will be after that. I will start from the end. And maybe it's already very simple for all of you, but for me it was just, wow, it works. Wow, I can do that and that in Gamma. So I want to just share my happiness from the work process. The shader compile. So here I use the fuse parts. So every patch is just compiled from some help patches, because I did it for the first time and I just didn't know what components there are to use. So I just opened every help patch in Fuse and Stride and just take some parts. So it's all like patchwork from. But in the process, I finally understood something, how it works here. So it's a material with Fuse element modify mesh surface with vertex displacement, and just without instancing, because I don't know how to do it with this feature, just some cycle with creating just planes which are displaced and somehow distributed in the air. And also using all this depth of field and lightning, it was just clear for me that I cannot do it so easy in better, and I had to force myself to learn how to do it here. What was rather hard to find, maybe it was not in Fuse but just in Stride, how to like sample texture differently on instanced objects. So before I just would make that with code, like depending on the instance ID to make some texture transformation in shaders. But here where it's, I think it's somewhere there. And it took some time for me to find all this thing like that, how to take these shader attributes in the patch, but finally it looked clear and I just continued to use it again in other patches. And it really resembled me a little bit, maybe last year or just before. I made one project in Spark AR, you know, where you make the filters for Instagram. And it also has visual shaders, so it's something like that. But I think it's something like shaders maybe in Unreal and in Blender, but like, I don't really know. But people say something like that. So here it was clear for me how to make this, and this was easy to use for instancing. And what? And I have another example with particles. And really, I didn't like particles in beta, and I tried to avoid them because I just cannot like handle them easy. And here in Fuse, it also one moment. What? Maybe it's here. Give it some time to load. Yes, so combining SDFs and particles in one system was also something new to me. So here, so aspect is hard coded in the texture window. So just put this aside. So here, what the texture, or downloaded just from textures.com, which used for displays of just some plane with normals. And on the other hand, it used for making an SDF with height map, which also was taken from some help patch. And thank you again, guys, to make so lots of help patches. And it used again this SDF surface is used as collider, and so I can just combine all this stuff together.
Amazing.
Also like plastic particles, a metaphor of something plastic. And here, so it was kind of 2 weeks of research. And I just did it, everything of this for the first time. And here there is that proto-plastic something from which all plastic is done. And I wanted to show how the mass, the substance is being like scattered to the plastic particles, because first in reality it is not done like that, because I watched some videos and I know that plastic mass is going through some machine, forming some strings, and then they are just cut to small particles. But I wanted to just visualize it like it's just making dust from this mess. And there was also an SDF form, like noise with noise and noise modulation over that. And after I used it with this node conformed to SDF, so when particles were emitted, they were not visible for just with their size, but they were just emitted, and they were conformed around this SDF surface, and then the surface just going to small parts without modulation of high frequency noise, and the particles appeared and just flying away from the surface. Okay. And also I would like to thank you guys for comments, because I just you say nothing and I just don't know how it is, how it looks like. So there is another project. I will show a little bit of it on the site. This is our website. Here, and a little bit back to the performance. We recorded the videos of these gamma patches because the first reason was that I just never made a live on gamma, and sometimes it can freeze or hang, and I know that beta also can, and it's maybe normal, but with beta I just know what I have to avoid to make the patch stable, to make it okay for life, and with gamma I just don't know really, and I have to test it maybe year, 2 years.
It's still running. I can see it on my phone.
David, mute your microphone.
Live set. So we just recorded some videos, combine it in the timeline, which is also a thing that I love in beta, because I know that not everyone like to use timeliner in beta, but I'm okay with that. And somehow I couldn't start Kairos. I tried Osseous core, it worked, but finally in beta it was just easier to familiarly set up a live. But I hope to sometime go into making lives with gamma also, because I just love the look that patches have, and today I was tidying a little bit that patches that I was shown, and I thought I just like how they look, because they look like something organic, like something with branching or some structure from the nature, and it's just beautiful. So speaking about this project, it was related to quasi crystals. It's a special material which often is found in meteorites, and it has some strange crystal structure, which is regular but not regular. It's kind of regular in some strange way that you cannot translate the symmetry on any axis. They are repeated, but in some strange way. And there is an algorithm by Penrose, and you can easily find the algorithm in the web in any language. And I wanted to port, and it's recursive, so I could port it in Gamma. And first, when I tried to do that, I also just couldn't force myself to think in patch like you think in code, but finally I did it. And so it's a patch, and I also want to make a contribution from that because maybe someone would like to use it. It's quite simple. Inside it, there are just like we divide every side of the triangle in some proportion, which is golden ratio. So here it's just division of segment, and from this division is created a new segment. It's easy, but to make this structure really took a lot of time and work for me because it was just unfamiliar task. So now we can set the iterations and run the algorithm, and it looked like that. And then, because the old project was also made in beta, so I just took this VL part and opened it inside beta and connected the points to make a mesh. And then inside the shader also I could like color it and visualize it like I made forever. So that's all about the stuff. And also I may say a couple of words about the workshops. I have one one thing with students from St. Petersburg, and the course we were invited is called Datascaping. I think they invited us because we had some project with data visualization, and especially this one with visualization of satellites and space debris. So it was just open data set downloaded from the web. And from the very beginning, from the 57 years of 20th century, when there was one satellite and then more and more and more, we showed them every year and how many satellites were launched. And so this satellites not just working ones, but mostly it is parts of them, debris, and some of them are rocket bodies, so they are visualized with different colors. And working on this project, I really felt the taste of seeing from table when you make it in the space. you just suddenly see some structure. But this project was made entirely in beta. But then with the students, I make the patches in Gamma because, and I can kind of compare, and I see that in Gamma the work with data is really easier because of everything with loops and like clear working with cycles and slices and counts and two-dimensional spreads. So somewhere I have a patch for made for students, which we made in our online workshop, and it has quite similar to the patch from the help about the world cities, and it has the meteorites which were found on the Earth. I have to bank all my inputs where they where my meteorites are. So they are classified by some class, and they just shown around the Earth. And we separated them in groups by class, and class is related to their chemical composition, and we made connections to make the class visible. So when we have just points on space, we cannot connect them together, and we don't see how many in the current class there are. And for the first time, so students were not familiar with Gamma and vvvv. They had some courses with Touch Designer on Maximus P the year before, and with 1-2 days it was really hard for them, but some of them still could do it. And here in Vladivostok, 1 week of my intensive workshop already passed, and so the methodology, I'm not sure that I'm doing my best because I don't, I just couldn't sleep. Like I had 7 hours difference, so I sleep in the evening, then I wake, then I sleep at 5 in the morning, then I wake at 8 and go to students. So it's like from scratch every day, but it has some systems. So the first day it's about just interface and schema and some vector shapes and animation and logic. And the next day, I every course that I have with vvvv, I always include the sound because I think it's important. First, because some students really like it and they want connection between sound and graphics. And also, I see the relation between all this Node software to modular sound synthesis, because like vvvv was born kind of a little bit from PD, and PD was born kind of from modular synths. So when I explain how the oscillators works and how they modulate together and how they edit and multiply it, so all the logic of any modular interface kind of, I think, is being clear for them. And the third day, there was some 3D stride stuff and also these views, great things with particles and SDFs. And after that, today we just started to discuss which projects they can make. And they told something to me, and on the weekend, I will just try to find the help patches and some notes and methods to give them to realize their projects the next week. I see that the first, the concepts of the loops and strict data types can seem harder than it was in beta. But when we patching, there are really not so much questions like why it is so. So they are kind of faster, filling them in some logical harmony, let's say, with the interface. So yes, I'm kind of happy now with all this process.
Thank you very much for sharing.
That's all. Thank you for attention. And, so I stopped sharing my screen, and yeah, I had to do it before.
I mean, we have some fiery things going and hearts on the YouTube channel. I don't know if anyone here has any comments or questions that you want to share with Alexandra.
2 weeks fuse. She did this.
2 weeks with Fuse was all it took you to do all this, you said, yeah?
Every project, like the students and friends, they always ask how much time does it take a project like that or a project like this, but I really can't divide. But yes, I can say that before so it was a couple of days without Fuse, just with taking help patches and making sketches, just with some particles, but there was really raw. And when I decided that, yeah, I have to work with Fuse, and I finally installed it, because before I was kind of scary. Like, it is ray marching, it is particles, I'm scared of all of that concepts. And I remember that I was testing it before, maybe half of year before or a year before, and it seemed to me not so easy going. So yes, I was scared, and then yeah, it was, if we count intensive work, yes, about 2 weeks, I think, and it was in residency with another project coming, so it was crazy.
That's crazy impressive. 2 weeks and you get such results. I think this is the best advertising Fuse has ever had, you know. So yeah,
it's also all thanks to the help patches. No help patches, I just don't know what to do.
exactly. So big shout out to the help patches and all the Fuse team, of course.
It was my method 10 years ago when I downloaded vvvv first, and I just created node, or I don't know what's that, F1, I see the help patch. I cannot understand. Okay, I see another node, I see help patch. And just in that process, somehow it just coming together.
Well, very happy to hear that. I'm sure the devs are also happy to hear that you love the interface. I'm sure Jorg is very happy to hear that. And yeah, thank you for sharing. We look forward to seeing what else you'll be up to in the upcoming months and weeks.
Thank you all. Waiting to hear the other presentations. Thank you.
Well, that was amazing. Again, claps from everybody in the interwebs. And I'm just, you know, should we maybe, Anton, have a look at what you want to share with us today. You said it was somehow quick, and it might be a nice interlude between this and the next people.
Could I turn on the mic?
No, you're going out. But
Okay. But I have to share the screen, right?
yes, please.
All right. So what I will show, it's a bit nerdy because it will be very short, and all the wows will go to 80 years.
Wow.
Because I will show only the thin part on top, what's already done for the next major version, which is 5. You can download it as a preview. Okay, so it's about nodes and about making new nodes. So we have a small UI here where you can make a new C# project.
Okay.
And you can say, okay, on create, I want to open C# file. I will do this. Okay, this is my text editor now. I will go here. I will have my gun here. I have my C#, and I will make public static function that will return a string. I will call it hello. Return hello, like this. And I will save it. And now in my gamma, let's check. That is not good.
Semicolon.
Semicolon.
Yeah. And I made a huge tooltip, but here my project, I did it. I have my class, right? I have my hello node.
Wow.
And it says hello. Then I do like I want to have some input.
Oh, right now.
Where's red? So I have an input, and I will say like hello. So right.
Wow.
So you know, you code, you fetch, you code, you fetch. This is just a text editor with a C# file. But if I right click on the middle click on the node, I will have my Visual Studio with a whole solution coming soon. So you can do whatever you want here. It's your
Wow.
thing. So important to know that this is dependency set here automatically for this new C# project, and this is the UI is doing this for you. And another thing I want to show you with another shortcut, you have a new shader.
Oh.
For example, I want to make a texture fix filter with this name, and I click add. We have a shader with a template already. There is some like texture, some color. Now I turn strike here. And what's the name of my shader? And it's here.
Okay.
I forgot something.
Amazing. That's about it.
Oh, wait. There was a like. No. because you can open here one thing that if you create a new shader and you can choose, I hope it will work, you can open the Visual Studio solution, and then it will show you all the pairs in your project. And if you install the Stride extension for the Visual Studio, then you will have all your code completion,
IntelliSense and whatnot.
yeah. So shaders, there was a like my texture fix which I did. Now this is my computer fix, and you code it here.
Amazing. But this is a separate project than the other project we were looking at with the C# code initially. Okay.
So this is about shaders. The project.
Okay. Amazing. So no excuse to not try shaders now. You even have templates to start with, and also you don't need to be recompiling all the time if you're working in C# world. You can just go back and forth between the editor and the text code, and it's just being solved for you on the fly. So big up to Elias. But really just massive. So yeah, I think very nice feature for all the programmers and soon to be programmers out there. Thank you for sharing that. That was a very nice demo. Any comments? Any congratulations? Any investors interested in? Thank you. No? Okay, well, after this short up, it says this the Visual Studio debugger work.
Yeah, you try it.
Yeah?
Try it. It worked.
Hello.
Yeah.
So Elias says it does work. We take his word for it. You can go and try it yourself, Hayden, but it should just work. And if not, you can just report the bug and he will fix it by tomorrow. So up next, maybe we shall hear about Sune, which is sharing two different things tonight. So maybe let's have a look at the first ones.
Yes, you actually asked me to do because last week I went to Paris and did a performance that I was supposed to do 4 years ago. And you asked about it, and it's a quite old project, and I presented it at, was it Note 17, where I did a very, very brief performance with it after, I think, Prince Mio did his talk, or was it before? I can't remember. I think it was after. Yeah. Yeah, so you asked to see it, so I can show you what it is and perhaps how it works. So I'll share my screen. There. Can you see my screen?
Can see you.
Okay, I will try to hide most. This window is not important, so I will hide it because it's quite noisy, so I guess it will be compressed really annoyingly. So at first I'll start without sound. This is basically my tool for making visuals, and it's basically based on noise, like this, very, very low, and then I have a feedback chain that I can add some feedback. I can do various stuff to it, like that. I can get it quite gritty like this, like that. I don't know how this goes through. Is it very stuttery or something?
A little bit stuttery, but I think you get it.
Okay, you get the idea. This is totally smooth 60 FPS here. I mean, that's quite easy. And I have 2 feedback loops. Now it's probably a little bit better. That can do things like this, and I can add some color to it. And the reason color is interesting is because this also is being sonified. So basically I sample the diagonal of the image along a line and get the RGB values of each pixel. And I think this was shown by tone film in note 15 or 13 or something, where he sampled an image and then used the wavetable to play back a sound. So this sounds like this.
And here's some.
So this is basically what it sounds like. Could you hear it?
We couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear it?
Fan going off to the back, but we didn't hear anything.
You can't hear anything?
No.
So this one... Okay, let me see if I can... I tested it this afternoon to be sure that the sound would work, and of course it doesn't work now.
Would it be live then we would some.
Did that make any sound at your end?
No.
Ah, just a second. Just a second. Like that. That make it. Okay. So now I'll begin over again, and then you can hopefully hear it. So it's basically. I need to. Basically based on white noise in the beginning. Sounds like that. I take it down very, very low, and then the can catch onto it.
Yes.
So this is basically what it does, and then it works really well when it's not broadcast over the internet. Then the frame rate is much better, and it's also very good when it's played on a big sound system. Yeah, so that is this thing. Any questions? I mean, it is beta because it's so old now, and I have kind of half an implementation in Gamma, but this one works, and I know it. So,
Well, I mean, I love this. I saw it at Node, and I was completely mindful.
it is. Someone is asking something, I think.
We have saying, yes, I am in love with this, and I love, and in the chat, he was supposed to be doing it, but no one wants to say it. Yes,
Where's my next performance? Can't you book a gig in Berlin?
Um,
There's nothing in the calendar right now.
Good. Where do we need to go?
Yeah, I will announce it when I do another performance. I'm also, but this is, I mean, this thing has kind of ignited an idea to start multiple AV projects like this, where I want something that's quite simple to bring out, and this is quite simple, not a very big setup. So I'm also doing a more techno oriented performance where I do techno and use an external hardware sequencer drum machine to also sequence gamma, which has kind of all of this engine in it. I have not yet incorporated the audio or image generated sound like this, but it that's the plan, and it works quite well to have tightly controlled visuals to the audio, or yeah, tightly controlled visuals and audio synchronized together. And by turning the image into sound, then you kind of get that for free. You don't really have to think about how to synchronize it because it is the same thing. But I like good kick drums and stuff. I also at one point did complete instrumentation for this, where I could make basses and kicks and snares and hi-hats and stuff like that. But if you wanted to look good and sound good at the same time, you can only play one note, which corresponds to the height or the width of the image at the time, at any one time. Because if you have another note than the bass note in your scale, then it kind of doesn't match the number. Because when you do sound like this, I don't know if you get it, but it's basically sampling. I'll see, I can do the diagonal up. My image is mirrored. It's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah, but you see, you have the image, and then I have a one end over here, up there. It's there, and then the other one down there, and then there's the line between those 2 points that I turn into sound. So if I have a pattern here, you can hear it. I'll turn down the volume a little bit. You can see that if you have a fine pattern, then the pitch gets high, and if you have a coarse pattern, then it gets lower. You can hear it here. And this is also dependent on the size of the image. I can try and go full screen. You can actually hear higher frequencies because the resolution is higher. And also there's also a difference in sound between 8-bit and 16-bit textures. So it should be. Could you hear that?
Yes.
So that's kind of the difference, and so there's a lot of parameters that affect how it sounds. Yeah, I can talk on and on about this for a long time. I don't know, are there any questions besides the next gig, which unfortunately there's none now, but I want to have more gigs. It's quite nice.
This in Paris. Now,
Yes.
How was the public's reception?
This was at Visionaire Festival, which is basically a visuals and VJ festival. So the crowd was very good for this. They were a lot of students of the guy who organized the festival. He had a lot of his students there, and they really loved it. So that was quite nice, very nice audience. I can highly recommend it, going there or trying to do a performance there. I couldn't understand that.
think it was intentionally coming through, maybe. Yeah, and one thing that is mentioned, which is not obvious, like I also saw it live when you presented it back at Node. When you're looking at the visuals live, it's super high FPS and it's very highly animated and contrasting, which is obviously not represented properly to.
Actually, it's a bit better because I have, especially when it looks like. When it looks this thing here, I have to actually cut the frame rate in half because otherwise it looks like this. I don't know if this comes through.
We're getting like 4 or 5 FPS over here. So
okay, but never mind. I mean, the thing is that if it runs full 60 frames right now, which is what I'm doing right now, then I get then it looks wrong, but I can double the frame rate, so I have twice the frame rate as what I'm presenting, and then it behaves nice, which I should also be able to do here. Yeah, but it did look weird because never mind. I'm thinking about my technical stuff.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that.
So that question. The general, maybe I missed it, but the generating of sound is an audio, or how you generate it?
How the audio is generated? It's quite simple. It's in here, the video. So here somewhere you get the texture in here, then I pivot it and I make a line on the diagonal compared to or from the what do you say, from the size of the texture. So I sample all the pixels along a line, split it out into RGB, and then down here into as a wavetable. Actually, there are 3 wavetables, I think.
And audio.
And then yeah, the audio, and then basically pan it out. And
I got it. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Great.
So yeah. Yes, that's how it works.
You needed some prep time to show us the other thing, so
Not really, not anymore. I actually prepared for that. Don't say my clothes. Don't say my clothes.
in the meantime, can somebody get me a beer?
Yep.
Oh,
And all of this.
head.
So this is the project I've been talking about a few times, I think, by now. My leukemia project, where as the reason the previous gig got cancelled 4 years ago was that I got leukemia, which is kind of sucks. Oh, that's a bug, actually. I can report that later. Yeah, Alexandra says she saw it live. Was that in Moscow, Alexandra?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I don't remember which year it was, but it was just great.
I think it was in 2016.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was very loud there, and I had a big beard. Yeah, so that was a nice experience. Very, very weird being traveled so far for being there for a very short amount of time, but it was cool. Yeah, but back to the story. 2 years after that performance, I got leukemia, and the treatment for this type of leukemia is 30 months of chemotherapy, varying from super intensive to getting pills every day. So basically, your bone marrow is under pressure for 28 months straight. And fortunately, here in Denmark, we collect all that data, and we can access it at the same time as the doctors and stuff. So quite early on, I noticed that when I looked at how these parameters of my blood varied, they behaved like it was like controller curves in a. sequence or something. So while I was sick, I got the idea that I wanted to make an audiovisual installation performance for it that used this blood data to drive the storyline. If you can use it as score for the piece, and I also talked to the Kairos people about being able to do that in Kairos, and I found other solutions. I ended up using binary search and then that's actually quite flexible since I don't really need to edit the parameters. So that works quite nice. So at first I had an idea of doing a much more interpreted and what do you call composed performance, but then I finally got the data into Gamma and had it play, and then I ended up completely shifting gears, and then right now I'm at this, and then I have a couple of months more to make this more sexy or whatever you call it. So basically I can explain, I'll just play this along now without sound, and then I'll explain how I also sonify it. So basically, yeah, the red ring is all the parameters are scaled to normal values. So whenever the values are inside or in the red ring, then they're healthy. The ring is red because it's about blood. And the more I always scale the whole image so that the most extreme value is still on screen, which means that the ring changes size depending on how bad it is. When hemoglobin gets low, then I blur the image because then I get anemic. And when I'm in these high dose treatments, which corresponds with a certain chemo drug, then I also have the sound of the chemo pump. That's what I have now. Yeah. Also, I'll turn on the sound for this as well when I start this. It also, at first I have a sine wave attached to, or sine oscillator assigned to each blood value. And then the more extreme it is, the higher pitched it is, the further towards the center of the image, the more low frequency it is. At the same time, I also use the wavetable, just like you saw with the other performance. But then I take the whole, you can see there. You can see that. You can see this is basically how the parameters I've chosen behave. It might be difficult to see, but you can see here you have the normal interval, and then you can see how much outside the normal interval some of these values go. And this is over time. Here you have October 2018, and here you have September 2021. And these I played back as a wavetable as well. So you have this more screechy sound and not just the tidy, white, and nice sine waves. So to make it more rough. So when I begin the sequencer, you can see the date here will change. And yeah, let's just begin. yeah, this is what it looks like. It goes on for a couple of more minutes, but I guess you kind of get the ideas. Whenever it does like this is when I get high dose chemotherapy. I get a total 8 of those. And the reason it gets so extreme is that the amount of chemo is that extreme. The idea is that they give you as much chemo as they can without killing you. At least it feels like that. And they say that it's not completely wrong. And then you recover, and then they do it again. And
every peak we see is you getting a high dose. Yeah.
Yes, that's the high dose chemotherapy. And I actually struggled because all the other values here have normal values that everyone have. I think I paused it. No, I didn't pause it. So for instance, you have, I think it is this one, that one. And see, this is before I have it. I have this, it's called methotrexate. And normally you don't have any of that because that's basically a drug. All the others are normal blood values that everyone have. But during the treatment, you get some pills every day. So over here, you can see lots of stuff happened here at the treatment. At that part of the treatment, I had some blood samples taken where I got the blood, the level of that drug, which was kind of normal during the treatment, which was 40 nanomole per liter or something like that. And that was because every Monday I got 16 pills. That's in total 40 milligrams. And then for these high dose treatments, I got 11.3 grams. That's 300 times the dose I got every Monday. So the amount is very, very extreme. And then they give you that high dose, and then they basically measure the level of that drug in your blood. And then once it's below 200, then you get to go home. But usually at the first blood sample, it's over 100,000 each time. So its normal value is 40. And then when it's between 0 and 40, and then when you get that treatment, it's 120,000 or something like that. Wow. So that's why it goes so extreme. But I mean, it is extreme. So that's basically the idea. And then you can also see when the values are outside the normal range, then they also get a name, and you can see the value as well. And at the end and the beginning of the treatment, I still need to sanitize the data because some of the values don't exist at the end or the beginning. So, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed some of the dots were disappearing sometimes, no?
Yeah, everything got so small that you couldn't see it.
Okay.
So when you had that thing in, then it was scaled so that even the ring, you couldn't see the ring, not even here when I'm sitting here.
Hmm.
So any questions about this?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for making out of something that was definitely painful and hard. I can only imagine something beautiful and very enjoyable. I appreciate that very much.
I will try to make it less pleasant.
I'm sure you managed.
The whole engine I talked about that I've also begun implementing in Gamma is also in there. So I have it, I can turn it on. I can't really do it now because it would only add a little bit of noise right now.
Yeah, very impressive project, technically super interesting, and also like the whole human aspect of it is very interesting. And being able to display this in a way that makes it easier even for us to understand at least a little bit of what was going on, I think this is super valuable as well. So thank you for that.
And if any of you have comments also afterwards, then please, or questions, comments, and also suggestions, please write me or something on either on Matrix, Element, whatever you call it, or wherever you can reach me. I'm still sort of figuring out if this is just too nice, but I'm kind of like it being simple. So
Comments or questions from the audience? No? Impressive.
Let me. Can I say something?
of course.
I think you're doing very important work here, and I think it's very actual topic. I have in both of my groups now. I have one students there who also are working with some disorders, and one of them wants to work with PTSD data visualization, and other with bipolar disorder, and so I see the interest how people work with some states of body and mind, and I think it's kind of when really have to do that, like to bring the conditions to maybe to art, and not only in so problematic, I mean, like it was before, but in this data art and generative art. So it's kind of the big tendency in social environment, and I think it's just great that you can do that. And I will show that project to my students, and I think they will be impressed.
I have some videos I can share with you privately there. I don't want to put them online just yet. It's still a work in progress. But of course, this is online and you can hear what I'm saying. First of all, I'd need to thank the animation workshop in Viborg, who have given me in total 4 months of residency to make this happen. I feel very privileged to be able to do that. First of all, there are some aspects. I mean, first of all, the visualization, and also showing other people, kind of, because you have all met people who have cancer, and you know that they're feeling bad and they get nauseated, but what does it mean? How does it feel? And so this is one try or way of trying to kind of pass on that, not experience, but kind of emotion that you feel while going through it. But also, it's also very, to me, it has been very important to have this project while I was sick, to think about this, so that whenever I had a blood sample taken, then it was kind of, yes, one more data point for my project. And it's still, I'm still having blood tests. Right now it's every 2 months. And then in May or something, it goes over to every 3 months. And then in 1.5 years, no more tests, and I'm in the clear. I should also say that I'm well now. I'm cured.
Very happy.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, actually. So, yeah. So, yeah. And there are other projects we're working on, trying to see how we can use this experience, this data, to hopefully help other people going through the same thing or something similar. I'm already thinking about how I can make a leukemia treatment visualizer, so that people can play back their whole treatment if they have such a perverted desire. But yeah, because I mean, once it's done, it would be relatively simple to put other people's data into it. And I also have other stuff. I join all research projects I can, so I was just at this very, very thorough doctor's examination, where I was also MR scanned, and I'm also getting the MR scan. So, and at the animation workshop, I've been introduced to VR a little bit more. And I want to be able to walk inside my body using my MR scan,
Mm.
which I should get any day now. I have no idea how to get it in there yet, but I'm quite sure that I can. And I saw that other people years ago worked with MR scans in vvvv. So expect questions about using probably DICOM format files in Gamma. I think that's it for now.
Looking forward to those comments. Okay.
I almost couldn't hear that.
Oh, okay.
No, you are kind of turning into sound art. I will stop sharing. Maybe that helps. Yeah.
That's better now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have some comments.
Yeah.
All of them from first and really enjoyable and saying I was distracted by the whole matter. What an intense situation in the base of the project. Incredible way to perform it. And then just really comparing better score works.
Is this on YouTube? Because I mean, it's almost impossible to hear what you're saying. Because then I'll just check it out on the. Yeah.
I think it's on your side.
Yeah. Okay, I'm confused now, but anyway, that's it for me, unless there are more questions. But I think we need to move on, I guess.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening and watching.
Yeah, that was it. I think it was your microphone somehow, Sune, because now you muted and the noise is gone.
Yeah.
And we
I disabled some noise processing to make music sound better because I was going to perform on computer audio. That might have been it.
all good. Well, amazing stuff. And apparently what we were saying couldn't be understood. So I was just reading the comments you had on YouTube. You can check them out yourself. People are very impressed with your work. Thank you again. We have, are the devs showing it? Or is what I'm controlling? This was it.
I might show a little bit, but we have a break now, right?
We're gonna take a break. So what, 10, 15? 10? 10 minutes break. Everyone go do your thing, go to the toilet, grab some water, walk your dog or whatever, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. See you in a bit.
Did my noise go away now?
You just have. No, it's still there.
Okay, I'll just mute my microphone.
Now. So get your popcorn ready. Yeah. Up next, we have Julian, aka Club Divider, for those in the forums, who's gonna share with us tonight something I'm completely unaware of. So the stage is yours, Julian.
Yeah, hey, hello everybody. Nice to be here again. Yeah, I wanted to show a bit of a learning progress that I had recently with vvvv and C# development. And yeah, I never really coded C# for VL before and realized that it's easier than I expected. And yeah, I got these servo motors from Dynamixel. Maybe I can show them with the camera here.
Can you guys see that
they
back
look
home?
like that. So yeah, I assume you know what servo motors are, and the Dynamixel servo motors are a bit more special than the normal Arduino servos. You can hook them in serial connection, and each of the servo motor has its own microcontroller in it. So you don't get in any trouble with timing issues, and they don't start to stutter. Yeah, the servo motors, they come with their own library, which is written in C, and there's a C# wrapper coming with it. And yeah, I didn't really know how to integrate this SDK from Dynamixel into VL. And yeah, I also texted with Jorek a bit, and he helped me, which was really great. And yeah, so now they're working. So I will share my screen just a second. Share screen. And I will turn on the servos for.
Wow.
So right now it's the sine wave LFO going to the same servos. And yeah, when I started integrating the library, I wasn't really sure what I was doing. And the code looked like that. I did only a static class with static methods. So yeah, maybe the developers should look away now. But I only had these yeah, kind of lonely nodes that were not connected. I even created kind of naked nodes with no pins at all.
Wow.
And it somehow worked. It somehow worked. Maybe I don't know if I still have this tab open from.
I like this
Yeah.
lonely node.
Have you seen this video when your code works but you don't know why? Right. And it's just like yeah, but it worked. It worked, yeah. And then what was really helpful was of course the gradebook and also the where is it, the VL demo lab that you have on the before GitHub. And so I had a look at all these examples, and then I created these nodes that look a bit more like VL than what I did up here. And yeah, I don't know if it's already, sorry, too many tabs open here.
Show the little boys in movement.
Yeah, I think when we want to look at them, maybe we
Yeah.
can switch to your camera back again and show them.
I think the stream will only see that camera.
Yeah.
I think Maxime,
Yeah.
he stopped sharing his screen, I think.
Stop sharing, yeah.
No, because of the microphone is taking the,
Yeah.
well, you could enable your microphone and stick it.
All right.
So they're all saying hello, and it's also good when you want to go to sleep. You can watch them and count on their invading. And yeah, what also, of course, works is having them in interactive with real time. I just hooked up the mouse position. I really like the new mouse and keyboard global nodes that work really fine here. And yeah, they're doing exactly what what they're supposed to do. So yeah, I can highly encourage everybody to have a look at the new C# VL connection thing. And yeah, I also texted it to Yorick that with beta, I had the feeling that you need to integrate V4 into C#, and now it really feels like integrating C# into VL. So it's, yeah, I think it's great and it's working really good.
Very happy to hear that.
Yeah, and still learning progress, but yeah.
I mean, I
It's
hear
working.
the same ideas coming through, like nice documentation, the gradebook
It is.
helps a lot,
Yeah.
the health patches, even the devs themselves, you can reach out and ask for some guidance. So if you're feeling lonely at home and you don't know how to tackle it, you really have no excuse. Alexandra figured this stuff out in 2 weeks. Look at what Julian pulled off just with the gradebook and some chat messages. So yeah, don't be lazy, get off the couch. Also, yeah, Sunev is saying also that the chat room is very helpful. If you're in a hurry and you need quick help, you can reach the community there, and usually you get responses within the hour or even faster. So, you know, the community makes this particularly great. Make use of it. It really makes a difference if you reach out. Yeah. Any questions or comments for Julian? And what is the, I have a question. What is the intended, like, are you trying to get to somewhere with this specifically? Are you trying to build up some sort of exhibition or something like this?
Yeah, I work at the theater school here in Berlin, and we want to automate a puppet.
Okay.
So that's it. Yeah.
We have the
Yeah.
audience representative, Daniel.
No, was it your first code experience in C#? Or
No.
are you coming from line coding?
I come from line coding, but yeah, I did a bit Unity C#,
Okay, you know it.
here and there, but
Yeah.
never really did it with
Yeah.
before.
No, impressive, because I come from the visual side, and I also say the big thanks to the dev, because the last thing to go from C# without knowing C#, it's going like this, and the node is appearing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my experience. Only visual coding.
yeah.
The first design. So, for you, okay, great.
Big up to Julian and
Julian.
Devs. We have any questions or comments from the people watching at home? Andres, yes.
Yes, one question. The servers are connected to a serial port, right?
Yeah, so there's this little so now you can see it. It's called U2D2. It's like this FTDI Arduino thing. So it's so it's taking the USB signal and converts it into the TTL signal.
Can you write on the chat the specific model of the servos? I would like to look into that. I'm quite curious.
Sure.
Cool. Oh, thank you again, Julian.
You're welcome.
And shall we go with? Is anyone else here showing anything other than Nathan? Yoram, would you like to take the stage now?
I haven't set up yet, but
Then
is it just me
maybe-
and Nathan? No?
I think it's just the two of you
Okay.
now.
Yeah, but Nathan is prepared and
Okay, now we have more and more demos popping up live. So you guys decide who wants to go. Okay, Nathan, please show us what's up on your side of the table.
your side of the place.
Well, our side.
Yeah, just want to give an update about guys. No, as you probably know that I posted also this forum, I organized this this Kairos camp targeting developers because it's few years that I've been doing this research project, and it has been like an experimentation, really, prototyping phase, like mainly just figuring out what we needed. Now it's in a state conceptually that is really mature, I would say. So it was the right time to make it a project and a community project. That's why I organized this camp. Let me show you. Yeah, made this post and yeah, organizing the camp in September, and many people replied, and we managed to to organize like a nice event 1 week, which these people met in Berlin in practices, and we had an agenda with some discussion, introduction, the first day, and then brainstorming and coming up with all the tasks that you expect for structured projects. So let me show you. So first of all, we structured the project in all its parts, like creating a GitHub account for the project. So we moved the repository from my personal account to this Kairos lab, research lab. And then we started during the week, during the camp, we started to have a look at all the topics involved in the research into this Kairos thing. Then structuring a bit and creating tasks out of all these topics, trying to make a real project out of it. And so this is the GitHub project. There is one repository inside. and here is, well, is what you're used to, especially what was on my meetup first before. The thing is that now we structure the project with issues. So we managed to sort out all the issues, all the to-dos, let's say. And as you see there, I mean, it is a team of people that is working on it at the moment. So the development is currently in, yeah, it's happening. And I also managed to somehow come up with a roadmap. So to give you a bit of a summary of what's happening. So this is the Kairos camp where we dive deep into the theory and the details of the implementation, the development. And then we are targeting a first release in December, Christmas, which hopefully will include, yeah, at least a basic, no, first version of the timeline, say, and also like nuggets for the libraries that compose the entire ecosystem of Kairos. So, yeah, this Miro board is also accessible, and if you want to have a look at it. And yeah, the cool thing also that we managed to get up and running finally is an open collective page. So many years, as you remember me, like that people are asking for like a crowdfunding thing to have a timeline, and this somehow looks like that finally we have such a crowdfunding thing. Not just for timeline, actually. It's as is written here, is a data control and composition ecosystem of rules. So it's way more than a timeline. And yeah, that's it. So I really hope that people will pick up on this and contribute. And yeah, we are hopefully targeting Christmas to a first release. And we also recorded the videos at the Kairos camp. At least, well, we recorded everything, but it's not interested everything. But the first day where I gave an introduction of Kairos and the concepts behind. Yeah, you can find there's a YouTube channel, Kairos Research Lab, where we uploaded those videos. So if you're interested to dive deep into the theory behind, just to have a grasp of what to expect, what goes beyond the timeline thing, yeah, that's a good resource, I think. And I will also publish clean a bit and publish this Miro board, which contains also already a lot of like concepts and explanations about each part, the library, and yeah, what is it in the essence, and how they are nested inside each other, and they compose the final ecosystem of Kairos. So yeah, now the goal is to, yeah, first of all, develop the tool a bit for Christmas. Hopefully, in the meantime, we will be able to create some documentation, some help patches, and slowly also build up like a reference on the theory. Yeah, this was just, yeah, in summary. Obviously, you can reach out and keep updated about the Kairos research, because we have a, what's it called? In Element is a space, right? Yeah. It's a kind of space on Element. So where you have different rooms, and you can join and just get updated. and ask questions. So yeah, that's a little update, and I'm very excited actually, because we have full support from the vvvv team, which is really believing in the project. And I mean, I could talk for an hour just to say what we are building and all these components. Just to say that the inspector is one thing that is coming out now, out of this research. So many things. It's really exciting, and it's coming together finally. And obviously, I hope that you support some donations, so that we have more resources to spend and time to spend in this research, which we all need in the end. So yeah, that's it. Any question?
I guess also a big thank you to all the people who helped the stars on the report. So we could.
Yeah, because in order to get the open collective page active, the repository had to reach the 100 stars. That's why I was asking the forum.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to all the people who you know, took time and came over to our office and engaged further in developing this. This is really I think something that will strengthen the tool, and everybody will benefit from that. And it's just so great to see that something like this, like that you since years, you don't give up, you just don't give up, and just go for this. And no, it's just good to see. And it's now finally this last stage.
Looks like, yeah. Looks like.
Question? Nathan, you say, I saw here a sponsor script. So, for example, if I use it in a commercial project, when I'm sponsoring you, can I get a bill that I can get to my customer? It's easier than you say, hey, I use this, then the customer pays it. So I get a bill when I sponsor?
I think so. You can do, you can like sponsor like monthly, or you can also do individual donations.
Oh yeah, thinking when I make an individual donation, when I'm doing this, for example, then I was thinking it was good.
You got
And then I give the payments to the customer.
Yeah.
It's just that the people know that it's easy to shift the amount of money.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Looking forward to Christmas. We have a big new present, a timeline tool in Gamma, which has been long overdue. Yeah, very exciting times ahead. Thank you, Nathan, for sharing. So, Mr. Yore, are you ready?
Not ready.
Not ready.
He's still patching.
So should we leave it with you?
Okay, let me try. Yeah, I just have a very short demo. Which is just about a blog post basically from today. Share screen.
Thank you, Toby. See you around.
Well, sorry. Beginner. Well, okay. It's just about this little thing here. It's a bit weird because actually it's 2022 and yeah, but okay. So yeah, we have as you know the 2022-5 previews already since a while, and these are
No, I think
it's mine popping up.
Okay. Yeah, so we have the 2022.5 preview builds, which are the, cutting edge, where we are just all the time changing bits here and there, and now it was just time for another stable release, so that we have a little bit of time to get this to a good point, and so that's why there's just yet another stable release for the 4. That's about it. I installed it already, and that's no. I know I could show a little bit, but it's a little bit. I don't know. Let's try something. It's about stability. This oh wait. There's a new option. You know it probably already from the 5 release. If you try to open a node, if you just want to concentrate, focus on your project, you now have the option to just use this setting here, browsable packages, which is turned off by default, and then you can't go into the quality, which you typically don't want to.
The search.
So the search, I just opened a empty document. If I type anything in here, nothing shows up. So if I would now create a new operation, the only thing that will show up in the global search is this foo. Yeah, this can be helpful because sometimes it's just too much of results. You don't need them. Yeah, but if you do want to look into NuGet packages, you can still do so, and you can still search the whole stuff. And okay, so the other thing that is noteworthy is that we focused on stability, and we had some issues with outdated patches still running, and several irritations where it wasn't your fault as a developer, but it was basically the system's fault, and you were trying to hunt down bugs that weren't really your bugs, but you just got sidetracked by something that vvvv was just trying make believe that you did something, but you didn't do something wrong. The system was just misbehaving. So that's why we looked very deeply into all these issues. And one thing that we noticed is that we can make sure that old patches, you develop your patches, change them over time, and these outdated versions of your patches just are not allowed to run anymore. Like the system now forbids them to run, and what you can, for example, see it even happens to the help browser here. If I change the LFO, and somehow the help browser, I don't know where, but it seems to use that LFO, it it restarts because it detected what I was using the old one, and so there's this protection system that restarts your app. Normally, as I said, you don't go into the LFO, so the help browser will not weirdly go away and come back again. but it's just an example of how your app would behave if this gets detected. Yeah, but then again, you don't want that. You don't want to have your patches like your program to stop and restart again. So that's why we worked a lot on hot swap as well. But in this case, now when you download the core lib and the help browser and all that is optimized. It's optimized code. So this hot swapping there isn't really working that well. So this other safety net steps in and says, okay, if I can't hot swap, then at least let's restart so that so that you're just safe. I don't know. Let's see. Now that I'm in this mode with browsable packages, I can go very deeply into the skier library and, for example, just do something completely idiotic and delete something out of this skier paint. And I mean, basically all the nodes in skier work with the skier paint. Now they are all red. Oh my god. So that's how we tested the system, you know. That's why I'm trying to be confident and tell you it's reliable, it's stable, because we did all these hardcore tests, like go very deep into the core lib and just destroy stuff and see how the system behaves. So yeah, as you can see, the help browser now looks a little bit different. Or I don't know, the settings, everything is a bit, you know, colors are missing here, and the tooltips, whatnot. It's all broken. But then again, it's still working, no? So if you go, we go back to Skier Paint, undo. Let's see. Tooltip. Yeah. Let's just back in this old state. It's just working again. And yeah, that's that. But actually, let me just do another like very nerdy and weird demo. Since I want to show how it feels if you're not confronted with optimized code. That was now the downloaded version with the core lib and Skier and everything in optimized as a nugget. Now my example is a bit weird, but okay. Just since we are the developers, the core lib and the Skier library and everything for us, it's a source library that we're all the time working on. And other developers have other source libraries. So they have their source repositories, they have lots of patches, big systems. And that's just my weird example of a system. So I open now my personal build of vvvv with core lib and Skier as with not optimized, but you know, with the source code, and just do the same thing again. And let's see how this behaves when I go into the Skier paint. So, yeah. So here's my settings, here's my tool to wait. I want to delete this. Whoa! Okay, it's still there. Okay. Okay, wait. Let's do the undo. I pressed this stupid stop share button, sorry for that. It was in the way. So, okay, I just undid my deletion in the sphere paint, and here's my big system with the help browser. Oh, didn't work. What did I do? Sorry, messed up the demo. Aye.
Commit, push.
Your release.
It's it's working, but I have this little. If you give me 2 more minutes.
At the end.
At the end, and
If we do a short break,
short break. Short break.
I do a commercial and then we switch back.
Many days.
Yes, I'll check.
I share, let's see. Am I on?
You are.
Okay, so I want to talk about one of the last features that we haven't ported from beta for a long while was this ability in beta that you can upload a screenshot to the website with just a click. That was used by thousands of people over 10-15 years. And we didn't have it in Gamma, but now we have it in this new release for 11. Here is what we have. Imagine you're working on a beautiful broccoli and you want to share it, your work. So what you do is you go to the quad menu, say show and tell, pops up this extension where it tells you what to do. You can take a screenshot by pressing Ctrl+2 on a kiosk right window. So I just press Ctrl+2. And what happens is the extension picks up the screenshot. It will actually pick up any screenshot that you make in Windows. And then you can just say something here. This is yummy broccoli demo. And then press share. It says uploading. And that's it. Now the question is, where have you uploaded it? You can go here and see, press view feed. And this will actually open, I'm showing you this. So it will open this website where we should have seen the broccoli. No, I need to reload, I guess. Yeah, so we have the broccoli here. Didn't put a very nice view on it. Anyway, so this is now the collected page of collected screenshots uploaded by anyone of you. And as simple as it is, I hope a lot of people will start using this feature again so that we can get a few insights in what people are currently working on. Now, the demo could stop here already. There isn't much more to say. If there wasn't much more to say, actually, to it, that in fact, the question is, what is this website? No, what is this PixelFed thing? And here I wanted to zoom out a bit and show you this visualization. So the website that you saw is called PixelFed. It's an image sharing website, and it's also a social network. So it's a service that you can use to upload your images, and we just have one account there, which is called Made with vvvv, and everyone who shares their images just uploads it to this one shared account. No? But what is PixelFed? PixelFed is a social network that's part of a bigger group of social networks, and the
kind of the meta term of this is called the Fediverse. So the Fediverse is a social network that is made up of smaller social networks that can all interoperate. That's the magic about it. Huh? It's not an isolated silo, but it's an actual social network where the players are eager to interoperate and not like keep their data to themselves. You might have heard of a few names. Their next cloud, Mastodon, is currently big in the news because of the downfall of one other big social network. Currently, I don't want to name, but so this is happening, and everyone is joining Mastodon. You might have seen it on the news.
I see Matrix down there.
Matrix, yeah, you see, it's not part of this. It's a federated network in itself. But let's not go there. About the beauty of this is that by default, as I said, everyone who is using the screenshot upload tool is just sharing to one shared account, but you don't have to. You can actually share to your own account, and I want to briefly also show you that. So here you can go to settings, and you can add your own account. So I, for example, have an account on Mastodon, which is this other social network in the Fediverse. And so I registered my account here. This is actually explained. How you do this is explained if you press on the question mark here. But so I did that already, and I can now choose to which of my accounts, I can have any number here, which accounts I want to share my image to. And now I'm just doing the same thing again. Taking a different view of this broccoli. It was Control-2. And then also just on a side note, a small little feature that we built in here, you can now still crop the image and send that. And I share this, it's uploading. And again, I click. The view feed button is broken. I we have to. Really? Yeah, I noticed that. Anyway, so I'm opening now my a link. There's a public link to that file that I just uploaded. It's a bit slow here, but you should see the broccoli. It's coming. Yeah, and so this is now my private account, so I can start building my private collections of images, or I can decide to do it on the common account or whatever. You can just basically use this screenshot upload tool, the show and tell, as a client to the Fediverse. So whatever account you have on Mastodon or Pixelpad, you can register it here and then post to that or that. And build your little collections, and then what you get for free is these nice looking pages where images can be commented on, liked, and shared, and whatever. So everyone in this whole Fediverse can now see these images. And that's.
I see that you click a lot. Can I automatize it?
Yes.
Oh.
So thanks for asking. So this show and tell extension is built as an extension. So it's actually a patch that you can look at. And if you dig in, you see that there is just a library that we're using. It's called DL Mastodon, Mastodon, which you can just use also in your patches to upload images with an LFO triggering hard.
Daily.
Yeah, so it's all open and accessible for. It could really be interesting for or if you have an event and you want all the people posting their images to the server, you can run your own private pixel server just for an event for people to share. There are own apps for that, of course, for everything. So
How would I find this patch that you're talking about?
well, it's here. If you go to all documents, well, then you will be able to open the patch that is the actual show and tell patch, which I'm not doing.
Nothing, because we were talking, I have now another weird idea. So you said a lot of people can post on something, but can I use in a V4 patch what the people are posting in this network of PixelFed and just stream it and project it or something?
Yes.
Oh,
So it's a bidirectional communication. In this show and tell window, we are only pushing, but the library that is used down there is also receiving.
okay, and I just have to manipulate this thing what you give me.
Yeah, you have to. There is the library comes with a help patch where you just have to enter your API key, and then you can stream whatever you can stream it, follow a hashtag or follow the whole stream.
Great.
Follow user, everything.
But if you open help browser, you have it installed.
Yes, probably. But, I'm not sure if it's. I mean, just to show you if it's there. Learn. Something is really slow here. No, I don't have it installed. But you get there. No?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I think that's it. So just everyone, please use it so that we can get a nice gallery of things happening.
Cool. Hayden was commenting, well, yeah, first of all. Hayden was just saying that there's a lot of nice new features coming with the new releases. It would be nice to see individual videos or, like explanations about the specific features. So one more task for the to-do list.
Is he up for doing it? Can we?
Hayden? I think you got yourself into a hole.
Back.
No, I guess it opens the question, any takers that want to, help the documentation effort, just reach out and you get some work going your way. How are we looking, Sebastian?
Great.
Yeah. So going back into your craziness.
Yeah. Indeed. The example. I have my settings open, my tooltip, my help browser, and let's see if this gets hot swapped without dying.
Wow.
So tooltip still open, settings still open, help browser survived everything. That's the demo. Exactly what that's undo. Oh yeah.
Drum roll, please. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And we have red and orange nodes. So it's easier to find the actual error. These days, there's still quite some red nodes, but these are categories, I think. So that means inside this category, there's something wrong. That here you can see the patch has errors, but not just deep down. It has errors. Like you can distinguish better now where the actual error is coming from. But okay, that's.
Can I make a demo request?
Yeah.
Can you show us Control L?
Yeah. Control
L.
Oh.
Get excited. Sit down for this one. I was blown away when I saw this. I think you're going to be very happy about this.
UI is improving.
I don't know.
Like some parts.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Maybe an input.
But Control L.
Oh yeah.
Paths and inputs and outputs and nodes now align properly vertically and horizontally when you control it. No more 3 2-pixel offsets and having to have it do everything. The future is bright, people. Amazing. Okay, is that it? Do we have anyone else showing us anything? Questions, comments, donations?
My license.
Buy licenses. Yeah, that's very important. Okay, well, if that's it. I have a few closing statements. Well, first of all, thank you for joining us tonight, live and remotely. And special thanks to Sune, Alexandra, the devs, Anton, well, he's also a dev, but he made his own demo. Nathan, Julian, and yeah, everyone who joined us. I have a small advertisement. If you haven't gone and seen, if you're in Berlin, go and see Chomsky versus Chomsky by Schnelle Bunte Bilder. The backend is built in V4 and they're close friends of the community. So very interesting work. It's worth a trip. Also, yeah, just a big shout out to the documentation, Greybook, Hell browsers, patches, and special thanks to David Brul, the Node Institute, for lending us this beautiful space and the infrastructure. Big thanks to Maxime, who has been operating behind the scenes, making sure this thing actually works. And closing statement. Oh, and by the way, I'm Randall. I'm your host. It was a great honor. Can we do a little prost for being together in a room again, celebrating this beautiful community? Cheers to everyone back home. And that's it. Thank you for joining. Good night.
Ciao.
Alles online.
Cheers. Bye.
Yes.